Yuki is a teenage kid who doesn't have any recollections of his past. Until one day, he gets his memories back and awakens his true power. Yuki wakes up in an unknown place after losing an intense battle. He meets Amy, a mysterious girl who claims she's still repairing and will send him to Landisol in another world. A girl wearing a crown is eating a massive rice ball and sees him falling from the sky, but confuses him with a shooting star. Kokoro is trying to find Yuki and finds him lying at the top of a hill, but when she gets closer she notices he's being attacked by some death wolves. She scares them away and wakes Yuki up. She tells him she was tasked by Amith to guide him through this world. She will help him recover his lost memories and powers on this journey. Meanwhile, the princess who saw him fall from the sky meets two guys asking for help. One of the guys tells his friend is dying and asks her for some medicine. She soon gets back with the medicine, but the two guys are already gone after stealing her sword. Back at Yuki, he gets to the city with Kokoro, but she soon realizes there's a problem. Yuki's mind is back in a child's state. He doesn't have common sense and bites coins as if it was food. She explains how money works, and they go to the guild association to make some money to survive. In their first quest, they see the princess girl hugging the dirt on the ground. They help and feed the black hole in her stomach, and she introduces herself as Pecorine. Suddenly, some giant mushrooms appear to attack them. Yuki stands in defense of the girls with his sword, but Pecorine takes the mushrooms on. She launches them into the air and punches down at them, sending them flying everywhere. Kokoro buffs Yuki's agility stats so that he can also fight against the mushrooms. He starts moving forward to showcase his power and abilities, but he gets smashed to the ground in one hit. He had one job and successfully failed it. A mushroom appears behind Kokoro and holds her hostage. As he gets up, he notices one of the monsters trying to stab her. He gets visions of his past, from when he lost all of his companions and sacrificed his life to save the last one. He quickly moves forward and blocks the attack. He doesn't want to lose any of his companions anymore, and his desire to protect them unlocks his real power. Through the powers of the girls, proving his divine skill, the Princess Knight, with the upper hand, Pecorine strikes down the mushrooms and defeats them with her newfound friends. The next day, Yuki and Kokoro find Pecorine winning an eating contest. She sees the thieves who stole her sword, and she chases them, not because of the stolen sword, but because she wants to give them the medicine. You guessed it, we've reached a whole new level of dumb. Yuki and Kokoro follow her, but they're stopped by a wild boar with magic circles on his eyes, trying to enter the capital of the city. Pecorine jumps into the fight, dodging every attack. The magic circles on the boar's eyes start to glow more brightly, and he performs his strongest attack. Pecorine blocks it with her massive strength and punches the boar away, pushing him against a nearby house. They check on the boar and find it collapsed by a cat girl's side. The cat girl, Carol, wakes up, refuses their help, and angrily walks away. She's angry at herself because she failed her mission and her target was kind enough to nurse her. She ends up approaching the group, revealing a dragon took the thieves away. The trio finds the dragon. Yuki distracts the dragon so that Pecorine can attack it from behind, but he gets eaten instead. Pecorine engages, trying to save Yuki, who's hanging out from the dragon's mouth like a gummy bear. Carol then uses her magic to control the dragon and finish Pecorine, her target. The dragon starts to fly, taking Yuki, Pecorine, and the thieves up into the air, and Pecorine punches the dragon, causing it to lose its power and crash to the ground near Carol. The dragon gets back control of itself and attacks Carol, but Pecorine quickly comes to her rescue. She annihilates the dragon and saves the day. She thanks Carol for helping with showing them the way and helping her get her sword back, oblivious to the fact that Carol has orders to assassinate her. The trio decides to form a guild, and Yuki waits outside the guild while Kokoro tries to register. He sees a girl collapsing from hunger on the street and leaves her a rice ball. He and Kokoro go back to Pecorine and Carol and show them the application, mentioning they need 4 members to be approved. But Carol rejects their offer and leaves. She meets with her master and gets ordered to observe Pecorine instead of continuing the assassination mission. She then heads back to the restaurant and accepts to join their guild. Their goal is to complete missions, make money, and eat delicious food, mostly the latter one. In their place, Yuki falls from a chair while cleaning some windows. He gets unconscious and meets Amith again. She reveals his guildmates are connected to the mystery of this world, and reveals that they have their own problems and missions, especially Carol. She explains his bonds with the girls will help him recover his power and memories, and about his true enemy, who's aware of his presence. She promises to come to help him at the right time, just like she did in the past. He suddenly disappears and awakens. He gets bedridden the next day due to his previous fall. He's scorching in fever, and the girls take him to the hospital. There, the doctor looks at his condition and decides to operate on him. The girls leave the room and start to hear him scream in agony inside. They ignore it, but soon, a man tells them that the place is not a hospital, it's a prison. The girls panic and try to see him, but the doctor won't let them in, so they decide to break him out of the place. Meanwhile, Yuki wakes up and finds the girl he helped on the street. She has grown obsessed with him, staring down at him in a very creepy manner. He gets terrified and quickly realizes the situation. The girls get to the hospital and find out they're dealing with a very dangerous and fearsome guild called Twilight Caravan. The girls realize that they don't stand a chance against the guild, but still, they need to find a way to rescue Yuki. While the nurse is not looking, the girls get inside and head to where Yuki is kept. They look through the bars on the door and see Eriko take out a cursed ring to make Yuki fall in love with her. Kokoro uses her stuff to fill the place with smoke, allowing Carol and Pecorine to get inside and save him. But before they can make it down some stairs, they hear the doctor walk towards them, and when they turn around to return up, they hear Eriko walking down to them. Quickly, Carol comes up with a plan to get Pecorine and Yuki outside while she acts as a decoy, and pretends to be in pain to occupy the doctor. Yuki, Pecorine, and Kokoro make it outside while Carol sacrifices herself. The two girls take Yuki to another doctor, and he tells them that he's not in any danger as the doctor from Twilight Caravan treated him very well. During a mission, the group finds people who were attacked by someone dressed in black. They meet Hatsune, who reads Alama's memories, and finds out her sister is the culprit. She rushes to look for her sister, and the group follows her with Rima, the llama. Pecorine and Carol separated from the group and find a village being attacked by shadows. Pecorine jumps straight into a fight to protect the villagers, but Carol just stands and observes from afar. Yuki and the girls see what is happening in the village and try to join, but they are stopped by the woman who attacked earlier. She attacks them, and when they attack back, their attacks pass through her like she's a ghost. She attacks Yuki and knocks him out. He wakes up where Ameth is, and she tells him that the woman they're fighting is dangerous, and that he's the only one who can defeat her with his power. He remembers his team when she tells him that they used to adventure together as friends in the past. Yuki finally wakes up to face the swordswoman. He unleashes his powers and enhances the girl's overall powers and strengths. Rima eats an apple and suddenly transforms into a cutie, and they all attack Christina, but nothing works. She defeats all of them and kicks Yuki in the stomach right before she asks for his name and leaves. Meanwhile, Pecorine continues to defend the villagers against the shadows. Carol is still conflicted with herself. She has to accomplish the mission she was given, but at the same time, she remembers Pecorine's kindness. She finally sets up her mind and decides to help her. She uses her Grim Burst to explode some shadows, defeating them. Yuki and the other girls arrive immediately, and Hatsune quickly looks into Shioran's subconscious and finds out she was being controlled by a shadow. They then fire an arrow shot at the shadow, forcing it out of Shioran's body. Carol uses a dark vortex to seal it into her spells, and Pecorine uses her Princess Strike to save the day. The group return to their headquarters, and Carol starts to doubt her master's intentions. The next morning, Pecorine wakes up from a nightmare of her parents have forgotten her and cries. And at the same time, Yuki has a nightmare where he sees his friends laying on the ground. He screams in despair and is woken up by Ameth. She explains that he's recovering his memories, and this nightmare can be either a dream or reality. It's what happened in the past, and it may happen in the future, later in the day. He tells the girls that he wants to sword train so that he can become better at fighting and protecting them. On the other side, Carol encounters a shadow that has grown huge, attacking the town. Pecorine and the others quickly arrive to defend everyone. She cuts the shadow's arm, which quickly releases the man it has taken hostage. Carol calls out to Pecorine, and the shadow attacks her immediately. Pecorine quickly defends her and uses her Princess Strike, but it doesn't work. The shadow uses its power to regenerate and destroy some of the buildings around it. Carol's foot gets trapped under some rocks, but Pecorine shields her from getting crushed by some larger rocks. The shadow hits Pecorine on the back repeatedly, but she stands her ground and uses another Princess Strike blow to slice up the shadow before passing out from exhaustion. Kokoro casts healing magic for Pecorine while Yuki faces off with the shadow, as his power wells up and enhances the other's power. He remembers the nightmare he had earlier. He loses his will and becomes so scared. A wall gets created between the guild and the shadow. The ground underneath them opens and they sink in. Yuki wakes up at an unfamiliar place where he meets a girl who explains to him what is going on. The others wake up at a castle. Kokoro wanders around until she finds a room with a picture of the queen, the king, and Pecorine. Pecorine comes into the room to explain to her what is happening. she reveals her real identity, the real princess of Landisol, Princess Justiana von Astria. She tells her how her family forgot her and banished her from her home, because Carol's mastermind controlled her parents and took her identity. In the end, Pecorine met new friends, and created a guild with them, sharing and enjoying precious moments. Kokoro hugs Pecorine when she mentions that she's scared that her new friends will forget her too and she'll be all alone. Kokoro tells her that she will never be forgotten, all while Carol listens from the door. The shadow appears from underground as Carol walks to it to fight it. Yuki, on the other hand, talks to the girl who explains to him everything. She explains he was trapped in this world without memories, and Carol's boss is the person who trapped him here. They fought each other in a previous world, and Yuki lost. That's why Ameth is still recovering. She also is the one who created shadows to attack people and take their souls, making herself stronger for any possible fight against him in the future. He vows to fight hard to protect them, and she gives him some power while taking him back to his friends. Carol fights the shadow to a point where she feels that there is no point in continuing. She accepts defeat and prepares to let the shadow kill her, but Pecorine comes to her rescue and asks for her help to defeat it together. Yuki appears and strikes the shadow down. He uses his power to buff the girl's stats as well. Kokoro uses her skills to buff everyone too. Pecorine uses her princess strike. Carol uses her grim bursts. And Yuki's final blow, eradicating the shadow once and for all, winning the battle. The crepe lady teleports them back to a crowd of townspeople, who rejoice for their lives and celebrate their existence and victory. From